this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, here for my weekly cross-stitch update. I'm one day late because yesterday was Labor Day here in the States, so I typically film on Mondays, but not this week. And Smokey was already in here with me, so there she is, sleeping away because I had my call with my sister already this morning, and she likes to come in here when I'm chatting, so she's still here. So let's just jump right in. I have a lot to share. I do have some acquisitions because I went over to the Pain Free Crafts website, and because I knew she finally sent an email with some reminding everybody of the designers that were being retired at the end of the month, end of August. So it's over now. Janet Stever being one of them, and there were two others at least. And they're designers. So I went and poked my head over and looked around, and I saw these, which I think I'd probably seen before, but I've always liked like fruit and vegetable stuff for the kitchen. So I went ahead and picked all of these up, and I'm very excited. So there's eggplants, bell peppers, tomatoes, those are the vegetables, and then we have blueberries, peaches, and strawberries in the fruit department. So there's 3 of each, and there's 350 by 350. So on 28 count fabric, which is what I'll be doing them on, they'll be about 12.5 inches square. And I went and looked, and I had some fabric in my stash that someone had given me, a nice huge chunk of 28 count Jobelan, which would be the exact, just slightly larger than I need to get all 6 of these. So this has been burning a hole in my stitchy pocket, and I posted in Instagram and here on the community post about when I bought these a few days ago, because, you know, if I wait till now, it's too late for anybody else to get them. And I noticed Jessie Marie Does Stuff bought at least some of these, and so I reached out to her and said, what are you thinking as far as a start along? And she was okay with my suggestion of October, because, you know, why not? I wasn't going to start anything else this year other than my birthday starts here in September, but I have everything I need. And they're so cute. I want to just have them all started so I can work on them whenever I feel like it. So I'm going to be doing, in October, I'll start all 6 and have them be, for my October plans, I will be doing them for my like temperature stitching and doing them monogamously for 5 days each. One of them, possibly blueberries, I'm not 100% sure, but one of them will be 6 days because there's 31 days in October. And then I'll stitch the number of stitches that the high and low added up make. That'll be the stitch number for the day. And I think that'll be fun. So I'll do it 1/1 full cross on 28 count white Jobelan. And I remember like my montages also by Janet Stever. I tried to get a tan fabric, but then I realized when I started stitching them, a lot of the background is tan, and that's not so fun to stitch on. But I do like my first one, my first montage, the winter one, is on white, and I actually really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch all of these on white, and I'm excited. So if you want to come along with me and Jessie's going to start just one for now, and that would be the smart thing to do. But knowing me, if I wait to do one at a time, it's going to take me forever to get to the other ones, and I just want them all started. So I'm just going to jump in with both feet and not worry about it. So that's the plan. And I think that's all of my acquisitions. So my travel stitching, we'll start with my Sunday stitch, My Big Toe Books of the Bible. I've been working on this all year. Essentially one strand every Sunday. So here is this one now. This is a 25 count B-Stitch Me Through the Stones, 1/1 full cross with the called for silks. I finished up songs, did Isaiah, and then pulled the border down a little bit. So next time I'll probably do just the colorful bit next time, but the next time I do brown, I'll do Jeremiah and then pull that border down. So that'll be my plan with the border, is just pull it down whenever I get close with the extras of my threads. That one's fun. And my proper travel stitch went really well this week. I've been working on dahlias. This is part of the seed packet series over at the Fat Quarter Shop, and I got it done. I finished this on Saturday because it was getting so close. I just, you know what, let's just get it done. So I finished it. This is 25 count Lugana by Stitch Me in Sand Dollar. I believe all of these are on Sand Dollar. 1/1 full cross. And I think the dark burgundy of this one was called for, only it's crescent colors instead of classic colorworks, and everything else is close to what's called for. So yay, got that one done. And then I kitted up, I picked colors for the flower colors of the next one on Sunday, and then ended up starting it on Monday because we went somewhere a little far away, not really, but just outside of town. So I was able to do a little bit of travel stitching yesterday, even though there was no school. And the next one is poppies. So this one is more warmer reds. You can't really see them in here. None of them are called for. I didn't have any of them, but I picked 3 that looked close to what's called for and got a small start. And here is this one. Just a little bit on the outline of the poppy. Usually the center is at the bottom of the like head of the flower. So that is a nice place to start, where I can kind of work my way up the flower and maybe get another little bit of color in to make sure my colors look right of whatever I've picked. And then I can do the title and the start of the border and then come down and finish the flower. That's kind of how I've been working all of these, and it works pretty well. So I had decided I'm going to do this one more here in the Stitchy Seed Packet series. And then I will go back to finish the last Cats and Hearts. So because these are working up so quickly now with the way I have time in waiting for my kids. So this will probably take me 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'll get started on the last Cats and Hearts at the end of September. So that'll be my plan for that. I've been working for kind of bonus stitching at home, doing the La Vuelta cycling race, where I stitch the number of kilometers that they ride every day. So that started with the beginning of the week. Luminous Fiber Arts Snow Mini Friends. I started this in February with my friends at the Pacific Stitching Retreat, and it is now finished. Yay! So here's this one. It is 25 count Lugana by Stitch Me in Frozen Lake. And I got all the snow done there on the bottom, the kitty, the snowman, the scarf, the squirrel. Super cute. So yeah, this was finished on Tuesday, and I'm so excited. So it's nice to have finishes kind of churning through here. And then for the La Vuelta stitching, I kept going even that day to my next project with the least amount of stitches remaining in pattern paper, which was Enchanted Alphabet. And I have taken the little girl out and kind of rearranged this area. So like the P is up here, the bunny is in the middle. I haven't started the bunny yet, but I'm working on the letters, and these little patches of grass you see here, like flower patches, there's a lot of scattered stitches, and I was wanting to wait until I had access to all of them. And so I have been color completing this week on some of these colors, and they have some stitches in these little patches. So I have started all the patches now. And so as I'm finishing colors here in the letters, I'm adding them as needed to those little patches, which is nice. Oh, here it is. So this one I've been working a lot on. It got, where is she going? She decided she was done. So I did lots. I didn't add it all up, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 700 to 800 stitches. Closer to 8 probably. So here is this one. I guess I'll put it up here. This is on a 45 count Society Time linen, 1/2 with DMC, full cross. And I don't remember if I'd finished this side. It's been so long since I talked, even though it's one day longer than usual. Finished all the letters on this side, which I may not have done last time. I might have, I'm not sure. And then now I'm over here trying to finish these letters, and it's a hodgepodge of everything. So the H is done, the G is done. I have a little bit of the A. That's all I have of the B right now. This is C, D, E, and F. And then, like you say, I told you, little bits of all these flower patches through here. And the bunny will be right in the middle. So that's coming along. This one, I did the math. This one should be done by the end of the La Vuelta, which ends on the 14th of September. So it should be done by then. Like, it cuts it pretty right on. So I won't get a whole lot of anything else at the end of the thing. It'll be all this for the rest of the cycling race. But that's fun. So it's coming along well, and I'll keep chipping away at that using the cycling stitches. I did part of my assigned amount of stitches today during my call with my sister. I didn't quite get them all done. So I'll finish up some more today to get that all the way done. And then the rest of the week, let's see, we had a rest day on that yesterday, but the rest of the week is normal amounts. And then next week, there's one rest day and like a day with 26. So next week will be a little bit lighter in the La Vuelta department. I think that's all of that kind of stuff. So my gift stitch for last week was Ranunculus. And this is by Cooler Design Studio, charted by Nancy Rossi. And this one's a lot of fun. I had a decent amount of time for this project. Not my next one, but this one got a good amount. It got 1,204 half crosses over the 2 days I worked on it, and it's now at 36.6%. So yay! Over a third of the way done. And it's so pretty. This is a 24 count Congress cloth, which is a thick canvas. So the half stitches, it'll hold its own against the half stitches. So I can't remember all. I think I worked in the yellow flower, a little bit over here, a little bit over here. You know, obviously this probably is new. Basically, I'm picking symbols along the strips so that I can be completing as I go down. But then wherever that color goes, I'll count to it and finish out my string. So yay! That was fun. So that'll come back out the end of September. And then I worked on Cupcake Dreams, which was my substitute Whipco project because I finished Azure Ornament. And I think I might have one more Whipco draw for this, which I kind of forgot about, but I didn't get a lot of time on these days. We had back to school night for 2 schools. Just a lot. A meeting on one day, like pretty much everything, every night had something going on. So these Wednesday and Thursday didn't get a lot of time. This is a Tilton Crafts former freebie. And so I ended up, since we had a rest day yesterday, I stitched a little bit more on this yesterday because my work on Wednesday and Thursday was so pitiful. I felt really sad. So yesterday, basically I did what I'm going to do at the end of the year in October, November, December, where I pick the high and low temperatures from the day before, add them together, and stitch that many stitches. So Sunday's temperatures, we have had a heat wave lately. So we had a high of 103 and a low of 65. So I stitched 168 stitches in it yesterday for that, in addition to 114 on Wednesday, 159 on Thursday. So I actually did more on Sunday than I did on either of those other days. But it is now at, total from the week, 441 stitches. It's now at 91%, 91.67% when you count all the background I blocked off. So it's coming along. This is a 28 count Jubilee fabric in like a mint green color. And I finished, there might have been a few stitches in the old color in here, but then I started a new color back at the top and kind of filled in that color all the way through here. So these, the frosting is a little bit more filled in. There's still a couple of dots here and there I have left to fill. And then I started in on bringing that color into the cupcake wrapper. So when I finish this color, there's 3 more colors. So we're getting to the ones with lots of stitches left. So, but this is coming along nicely, and I do hope to finish it this year. That's my plan. And then Katie's playing back there. I worked on tapestry as one of the pieces, my non-full coverage that I wanted to work on this week, just because I want to try to touch everything at least once throughout the year. This is by Ink Circles, and it's charted in General Arts with a DMC conversion. I did mine in like a Victorian motto conversion, and it's so pretty. So I have this in Pattern Keeper now, so I ended up doing, I worked on this while I chatted with my mom. So it got maybe a little bit more than that too. So it got 256 stitches. This is a 28 count Jobelin in antique white, and it's 1/1 full cross. It's now at 18.91%. So I did this stuff right here. I think I started in the middle, worked my way up, did this corner, but then I thought, now that I'm in Pattern Keeper, I'm gonna go along the top, pick symbols in the 10x10 grid, and just complete it like I like to do with everything like that. So super fun. And I do enjoy Jobelin for 1/1 stitching. So my fruits and veggies from Janet Stever will be really nice on that fabric, because I like that. I know some people don't like Jobelin because it feels very slick, but it is still a hardy enough fabric that it holds its shape nicely, and the holes are clear and crisp. So it's good for what I like it for. But maybe I could see how maybe other people might not like it. It just is, everything's a personal preference, but I like it. Then my full coverage that I wanted to work on this week was April Fairy. Again, not a lot of time on this. This was Saturday. We just did some, I called my friend Desiree. So I worked on Enchanted Alphabet while I was chatting with her. And then we did a fantasy draft with my family, which I worked on Dahlias, which during the fantasy draft while I was waiting for my turn, and ended up getting it done. I think it was because I finished Dahlias. I think I really wanted to get that done, and I probably could have worked on it some on Sunday, but I was just on a roll on Saturday, and that's why April Fairy didn't get as much attention. But I did get some, and like I said last time, if I get 100 stitches, at least I'm happy with this one, because it is a slower process of stitching on this one, the way I'm doing it diagonally, stitch by stitch, where I'm about that much. So there's a lot left. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Hannah Lynn. It's so colorful. I love the colors. They're very fun and bright and cheerful. So I will enjoy getting this out again at a later date. But here's where I got to. Not a whole lot, but I got 111. 111 full crosses. This is 28 count Rose Monaco, and it's now 8.01%. So I got to a new percentage, which is kind of cool. 8%. I got a little bit of a new red bit started there, which is always fun when these red stripes come out of her hair. So those are always happy. So, and I do have a video in my tutorial playlist of me working on this and explaining my process, if that's something that interests you, of how, what I'm doing on that one. All right, and Sunday, I spent a good chunk of the afternoon marking off background on my upcoming birthday start for this week, but I did get some time on Stitchy Shelf, which is nice, because it's my last day on Stitching Shelf for the summer rotation. This is also by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Amy Stewart. This is the max color, but regular size and I'm working in the summer shelf. And this time I just did some black along here in the back of the man that's standing there. So you can kind of see that there's a man standing there now. A little bit. You can kind of see it. So, back up a little. So, here is this one. Hopefully it's all in there. And then my summer shelf is like that. So I did 338 half stitches. It's now at 4.63%. So I did all that black, not all the black. I had done some before, but I brought the black down. So now you can see his elbow right there. And then this, I think, is his boots down at the bottom. And then I can next, you know, whenever I work on this again, I can, if I want to, I can do more black up here, which will come around his head and kind of in between. This is the woman sitting. So, but yeah, just a little bit more. It's fun. So this will go away now until I bring it out for fall, the fall shelf. I don't remember what month that is, but I will continue Seasonal Sunday through the end of the year, and then I have nixed it for next year in order to spend more time on my gift stitching. But I'll keep it up for now. Okay. Let's see, yesterday, I started my gift stitch for this week, which is Lollipop, back at the beginning of September, starting over with all my gift stitches. So I'm back to Lollipop. This is for my daughter, also by Tilton Crafts, artwork Denise Garbus. And this is a sweet one, lots of rich colors. I'm up here in the clouds. I think that's where I was the whole time. And I will work on this again today because my gift stitches currently get 2 days. Next year, they will be getting 3 days every week. Once a month with the 4 different projects. So here is this one. This is a 40 count per doll, 1/1 half cross in white. And yeah, so I worked on, oh yeah, this is now, did 296 half stitches yesterday. So it's now 13.00%, exactly 13%, which is kind of fun. So I'll do some more today. I worked in these dark purple and blue to fill in that a little bit. I still have some blue on my needle, a dark navy. So I'll keep going with that today, see how much I can get done. And that's a fun one. Oh yeah, and then because yesterday was the 1st of September, we started the AB Singo game in Magazine Monthly Challenge Facebook group. They have a bingo board in January called Bringo, and then they just started this year a Springo in April, and now this is the AB Singo in September. And this year it's a little different. Instead of having, it used to be a standard 5x5 board, and then they would put in 25 letters, so the whole alphabet -1, and every year they just randomly pick which one didn't get put in. This year they're doing a 7x5 board so that they can have all the letters plus some numbers, 1 through 9, I believe. So my board is randomly distributed. This one got called, and the next one, I didn't write it down, was G. G was for today, which I've already done. I did that at the beginning of my call with my sister, which is why I didn't finish my La Vuelta stitching on Enchanted Alphabet today. So I'll get that finished up. But yesterday I almost forgot to do it, and it was the very end of the day. I'm like, oh no, I need to stitch my L. So I stayed up a few minutes late and finished my L. I'm not stitching this properly or officially. I'm not posting pictures. I'm not doing their minimum amount. I am doing it in a way that meshes with all of my other things I have going on in September. So what I'm doing is I'm going to stitch Jardin Privé's Sampler à Fleur, which is a sampler. So it goes kind of nod to Sampler September that a lot of people like to do. I don't do a lot of samplers, and no traditional samplers. So this one, I thought, well, this will be fun. There's lots of alphabets in it, and it's very colorful. I don't have that much done on it yet, so let's go ahead and get this one going. And I went ahead and manually charted it into Pattern Keeper. It took me a little while because I had other things I was doing, but it came as a PDF, but it had so many like copyright things put it on the pattern that it wouldn't go into Pattern Keeper very well. So I ended up just doing it myself. And now I can use it in there, which is always fun. And what I am doing is whatever letter gets called, I'm stitching that letter. So it will likely be less than 100 stitches, which is their minimum amount of stitches, or 1 hour, and it's usually less than an hour, but that's okay. When there's a number, it's stitched that many motifs, so I'll just pick a section in here with some small motifs and stitch that. So I'm gonna do this project for the whole AB single board, just a little bit every day, not a lot. So what I did is this is 40 count Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim. It's a nice pale pink, and I'm stitching with soie d'Alger. That's very similar to what the DMC that's called for. And I had these two done and all of those letters. So I did L yesterday, which is super nice, counting right there, right to where I could easily count to it. And then today was G, so I carefully counted over to the G. I could have come down, there was like 3 different G's. They were all about 30 stitches away. So I'm like, which one do I want to do? And I ended up going with this one. So I could try to stay the top part of the pattern as much as possible. With the way I stitch, I prefer that than to get scattered all over too much and then have to touch the finished stitches too much. So anyways, this is 1/2. I don't know if I said that on the 40 count. And I like the coverage with the soie d'Alger silk. It's a little puffier than cotton, so it covers very nicely. So I will be doing this all through the first 25 days in September and see what sort of progress I can get. It might be scattered and might be silly, but it'll be something. So there, I'll take it. This one is now, the L was 70 stitches, and then the G was 93 stitches. There's a little more going on in the G. Now it's at 8%, exactly, so that's fun. Okay, I think everything that's left sitting out here is plans. So my plans for the week, I'll do one more day on Lollipop. I'll keep doing my Enchanted Alphabet for La Vuelta stitching. I'll do a little bit on Sampler of Floor for the AB single game. And then, and I didn't bring it to show you, but I will do some stitching on for the Broncos game, which is Sunday. I may not actually start stitching on it until Monday, which is partly why I didn't bother to bring it. Because whenever we know the final score, I'm gonna times that by 10 and stitch that many stitches. It's probably gonna take me, I'll probably spread it out over the week to get that done. Maybe if they don't score very many points, I could do it on Sunday, but I don't want to like expect that. So we'll see. I waited on that one, but I will do that coming up here. And then my WIPCO call, the first WIPCO call for September is My Story. This is one that I would like to finish, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think there's too much left. So maybe next year, this can be a goal to finish. I can't play as many games with this one because I can't put it in Pattern Keeper. Even if I were to chart it out, there's so many specialty stitches. They won't register in Pattern Keeper anyways. So I just need to stitch it. And I might be able to do like a literal daily 30 and just whenever it gets called, I can give it 30 minutes, you know, and that kind of thing, and just not count any stitches. But this one's fun. I have it kitted up with my own colors, similar to what's called for. And here's my starting point. This is on a 20, maybe a 32 count lamb's wool linen. It's a little stiffer by Witchell. 2/2 if there's cross stitches, and then 1 or 2 strands for the different specialty stitches. So I've got this whole column is done. And then last time I worked on this for WIPCO, I pulled out and worked on all of these. I think there's one more motif right here. This motif up here at the top of the 3rd column is done. So that's good. So we'll see. We'll see where I go from here. If if I hop back and forth between the columns to work my way down, or I'm not really sure. But this will be Wednesday and Thursday. Hopefully I can get some time this time on something. And then I'm going to come back in a minute and finish my plans because it's time for my husband and I to eat lunch. So I'll be right back. Okay, continuing on with plans. Normally on my Friday, Saturday, I've been picking one full coverage, one non-full coverage that will be trying to touch everything throughout the year. So this is my birthday month. So I'm doing things a little different. Got 4 new starts planned. And the first one has a hummingbird on it. And so my friend Colette, the highway stitcher, she wanted to start that one with me. And we decided September 6th, which is the day right before my birthday, is National Hummingbird Day. Well, that's too perfect. So I'm going to do that start on Saturday and do Saturday, Sunday for that one. So I'm going to bump out my seasonal Sunday for this 1 week, but I hope to bring it back later in the month. And then also Leanne Stitches here on Flosstube. She has her birthday on the 5th and wants to do a bookish sal. So work on something that has book elements, book theme, comes from a book, you know, something. And I was also trying, when I do have room in my September plans, to bring in whips that are like extra whips. I thought, well, I want to bring in former birthday starts, which TN Books is a former birthday start. So I thought that would be a fun one to do for her bookish sal on the 5th. So what I'm going to do on Friday is one day on TN Books, which I started this as the Heaven and Earth Designs version, and I've now restarted it to be the Pain Free Crafts version. But I'm still removing the background, and because I have a pretty piece of hand-dyed fabric that I'm doing it on, but I liked the coloring in the teacup and the books. It's more crisp, a little less dark on this version. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And I haven't done a whole lot since I did the conversion, so I'm curious to see what I'll work on here. Oh, I hear Smokey wanting to come back in. So here is my starting point on this one. It's a little warmer in person, but it's a 40 count Verdal, hand-dyed. I think it's a silk weaver. It was probably here and I didn't pay attention. Yeah, it's a silk weaver called Days Gone By. And so I'm doing it 1/1, half cross. And the steam is from the Heaven and Earth Designs version, and I just left that. And then I redid, I frogged out the teacup, what I had done with the teacup, and I'm redoing the teacup. So everything here is the Pain Free Crafts version of the teacup. And I believe the butterfly is also Pain Free Crafts version, because I'm, you know, trying to do from the top down like I like to do. So, and a little bit of the teacup handle. So I'll probably keep working in the butterfly, I would guess. I want to work on this too to get it filled in more, but I do also like working from the top down. I can't help myself. So I'll work on that on Friday. And then I will work on my new start on Saturday and Sunday. So it's National Hummingbird Day, and one of the days is my birthday. So this will be my first of 4 new starts because I'm turning 44, so I figured I had to do 4. Hummingbird in Roses, a mini, and I manually took the background out. They might have a version with the background removed, but I think I wasn't thrilled with the way it looked, so I went ahead and did it myself. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Oleg Gavrilov, and it's the mini, and you can see it's kind of darker on this corner and lighter over here. So I have a fabric, sorry if you can hear the garbage trucks in the background, a B-Stitch Me 25 count in, oh, what was it? I didn't put it on here. Mini Bouquet? I'll have to look it up. What did I do with that? I think it's on my desk, but it's a multicolored fabric, which is super fun. So I'll have this corner be the corner that's kind of behind the flowers, and then the hummingbird will be facing this part. right in the middle there. So I'm gonna do a center. I will probably plot it in the center and count up to the top so that I make sure I center it on my fabric. But that's that one, and I'm excited about that to get a start on it. And I thought I would bring all my other birthday starts with me, even though I won't get to them this week, just because I did some prepping for them, so they're all ready to go. And next week I'm gonna do a couple former birthday starts as just whips. I'll give them each a day. But then I'll start on the 19th, I'll start Exquisite Lace by Works by ABC. That's this one. And I'll be doing it on this pretty Huntress. Picture this plus. And I decided, I laid some threads down and I decided I'm going to do DMC 23, which is called White Violet. I think it's a really pale pinky purple. I think it'll really pick up the nice tone in this one. And it's likely it'll just look white from a distance, but I think it'll be fun to stitch with and will really complement this bright purpley fuchsia explosion there. And then the following week, I'm going to start Cats in the Rain by Madame Chantilly. And this is a 40 count linen in Vintage Stormy Night, I think. I'll do that 1/2, called for DMCs. And then the end of the week, the end of the month, I mean, I will do Mill Hill's Pretzel. So I got this all ready to go too. So I made my card. I have a tacky bob in here. And I sorted my floss. There's only 6 colors. So that'll be fun. And I'll make that into a magnet. They give you a magnet, put it on my fridge. So that'll be fun. I might even get to finish this one in September. That would be really cool because it's very small. All right, so that's all I have for you. I'm really excited about plans for September. So I hope you have a wonderful month, whatever you're working on. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I will see you next week, Lord willing, and happy stitching. Bye.